Alright, what is up everybody? Welcome back to another gameplay video from Golden Dice here. On the right we got Mike playing eLuke with Bib Fortuna, and on the left we have Matthew playing eLuke, Kazuda, Anakin, and Destroy the Death Star. Matt on the left is actually going to try to destroy the Death Star. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that works out for him. And Mike on the right is just going to live life with Bane. So he played a Forbidden Lore. I can't tell what's in his hand. If he plays a Death Field turn 1, it's going to be quite the bad news. And here comes the Death Field turn 1. So Matt's going to be in a really tough position. You almost might want to audible and just do the damage into Bane. Because in my mind, the Death Star plots are a really interesting way to audible. Right? If you're playing against Mill Deck, you could blow that up. 20 health is a lot less than what they'll be doing. But against Bane, it's essentially 14 and they die. There's some potential... you could run armor plating. He could have ancient Sith armor in there. There's some things to extend that health, taking shields and whatnot, but he'll probably end up doing around 20 damage at most. So Matt played a Merchant Freighter and took a resource from it, and now he's spending those 2 for Luke's X-Wing. And Mike, while I was talking, rolled out Bendu, got the 2 shield, probably the best side to get for him right now. And I apologize for the autofocus. The Brio likes to forget everything, all the settings all the time, so it's a lot of fun. Ooh, so Luke comes in with +2/+2, and the X-Wing hits a 1, so that is 6 damage, because Luke does increase damage of the vehicle that he is piloting by 1. So that's a really good hidden motive for Mike, calling range, of course, and the chances of getting that are very, very good. 2/3. So it looks like Matt has a covert missions, a truce, and a near miss in his hand. Kaz coming in and getting a resource. Looks like Mike has a dark saber. Can't really tell what else. Anakin comes in and gets a shield. And Mike comes out here looking really good. 2 shield side again, although, again, I guess shield sides are actually pretty useless if Matt goes for the plot, but 3 melee and 2 indirect. Matt with a reroll, kept the +2, gets a 2 for 1, and a resource. And again, he does have that truce in hand. Mike is just going to take the 2 indirect here. Matt is going to put it right onto Anakin. And he grabs the resource. Death Field action. Special. So that special is 2 damage to each character. So obviously the value of that is going to be really great, and also puts Anakin within lethal. Again, Matt has that near miss and truce in hand. So that 4 damage, we can kind of see the phone up top, but the Death Star is currently at 16. So Mike is going to resolve the special for 2 damage into each. So Matt's going to want to truce and remove that. 3, or his Anakin dies. Mike does have a decent shot. Bib has a focus, 2 special sides. And Mike is really happy with the 3 melee or the potential 5 indirect special. So Matt's certainly not in a good place here, but it looks like he passes. Or did he claim? But either way, he didn't remove the 3 for 1, which I feel like would have been good value to do. We got to discard a reroll and a blank. Probably take it again. Looks like he's got a Forbidden Lore. and a Sheehan in hand. So his opening hand was pretty crazy. I think it's worth it to pitch that Sheehan. Yeah, I agree with that. Resource and blank. So that's tough. That feels bad, but it's all right. Sith Teachings in hand. Can't really tell what the rest is. Matt pulls the second Merchant Freighter. Certainly a good one to get. And in hand, Matt also has an R2D2. He still has the Truce and Near Miss. There's one on unknown card. Mike drew a Respite, a Doubt, a Delve, and I'm not sure what else. But the Respite is certainly going to be good on Bib. It looks like an Entangle in there, actually, as well. So he opts to activate Bib. I think Respite is more value there. I think just drawing and Bib's die really isn't going to do that great, but the special could potentially be powerful. I'm sure in this moment Matt wishes he had resources. He does have the Truce, and he does have the 2 Merchant Freighters. That's going to give Mike an opportunity to mitigate. Assuming he would have mitigation. But again, I think it's just an Entangle and a Doubt. One range on Cass. If you had money, this would be a pretty nasty turn. Ooh, so the Entangle comes down. You definitely take Cass's die, and you take Luke's X-Wing because that is ultimately a 3 showing. But Mike opts to take... Luke's probably not realizing the X-Wing is being pumped right now. Truce comes down. And Matt swings for 2 into the plot. He also is probably not realizing that the Luke's is a 3. Or it looks like he does. Yep. I can't tell what the counter's at. I think it's at 13 now, maybe. The Doubt comes down, and we get another damage in the plot. Mike was obviously holding on to the Sith Teachings the whole time, hoping to have Matt roll into a blank, but that was not the case. I'm curious to see what he drew. Because, again, I would have respited there in the beginning, and I wonder if that card could have had any relevance to what was going on. That would have been really funny if Matt just rolled a blank, though. All right, so Bane is going to come into the pool. And we got a +2 melee, a 2 range, 2 indirect, and a blank. Near Miss comes in. Yeah. Although the Bane, if he hits a Bane special again, you're gonna cry a little bit. I'd probably reroll if that's 2 indirect. Yeah, I reroll that as well. So we got 3, 2 discard, blank, and a focus. All right, so Mike is looking for value from Deathfield for 2 more to each. That is going to be lethal on Kaz, and it's going to put just Matt in a really tough spot to finish out. But the near miss comes down and removes the 3. All right, on to the next round. Sheehan Training, I think, was the card that Mike drew into. Honestly, I would ditch that. That doesn't seem like a card I really want to play. But although he's got Sheehan Mastery in the discard, so it is a little relevant there. Looks like he drew a handful of upgrades. There's a Treasured in there. I think there might be a Sheehan Mastery in there. Maybe a Deathfield. And of course noted, Deathfield, you can override them, potentially get 3 resolves this turn if that is a Sheehan in hand. So I definitely see the Treasured. No, that's a Sith Teachings. So 2 Sheehan Trainings, a Sheehan Mastery, Sith Teachings, and a Treasured. So Matt doesn't know, but he can go off this round. So that's 5 range that he rolls into right here. And knowing that you don't have any other cards to play, I think I just drop a Sheehan Training and hope to get the special on that, to get the Mastery in, to roll that in. Try to get that combo going. You don't have any pay sides on... no, you do have the pay side on the 4 indirect. That's also a fair play, too. And there you go. The special is deal 2 damage to a character, remove a die showing damage. So Matt's going to want to resolve that right now. Yeah. So it looked like Matt was at 12 for a second, and he did -5, so he should be at 7. 7 shields remaining on the plot. A-Wing comes down. And Bib Special comes in, and Bane gets a blank. So now it's like the awkward spot of pitching a reroll, but like you're not getting value out of the reroll because he's not going to reroll a Shen die, so he's really just rerolling Banes, and that's obviously a good die to go with, but ideally you get to reroll with 2 or 3. So Matt's hand is pretty rough, it's looking, so Truce is in there, and then he activates Cast, I guess maybe in case of the pay side. But he hits the damage on Cads, which means that's going to get removed by Sheehan. But there's really nothing Matt could do about it. Another blank comes up after the Sith Teachings removes 1. Yep, and there's the issue with rerolling 1 die. Oh, he's going for it again. Yeah, special. There you go. 5 indirect is going to put Matthew in a very, very tricky spot here. Can't tell. He's got an easy pickings bucket and maybe eject. Eject is certainly going to feel bad because Luke is piloting his X-Wing and Kaz is piloting the A-Wing. So if he ejects, he's losing his dice cards. Where he had the option to pilot the merchant freighters and grab a resource from that. And the eject on those is going to feel much, much better than ejecting, the two vehicles that you actually have out that have damage sides going for them. Because those are going to be your win conditions. Pitch to reroll. Easy pickings is a dead card. Anakin died, turn 1. Luke comes in, 2 for 1, R2 with the 1, and Bendu with the focus. So R2 likely, that 1 melee is irrelevant, so you either take a shield, a resource, or special. Disrupt's not relevant either. The 1 shield feels terrible when Bane's swinging for 3 and 5. All right, so Matt has 3 health left. 1 on Kaz. And 2 on Lukey boy. All right, so 3 indirect is lethal here. So Matt is going to have to play that eject he has in hand. I think playing eject pretty much gives Mike the win anyways, because the potential to blow up the Death Star without your vehicles is going to be tough. You certainly do it on the A-Wing first, I would believe, because but you also want to keep Luke alive, which is the issue. Yeah, so he's forced into a spot where, Luke is, if you're going to hold on, it's going to be through him. And so that means you have to blow up Luke's X-Wing, you heal 2, get 2 shields, and you have ambush as well. And bucket is in his hand. And he does have the other merchant freighter he can still resolve as well. Mike takes the indirect. And all of it goes on to Luke. Where if Mike would have resolved 2 and 2 into Luke, he would have been at 8 again, and then the 3 indirect would have been lethal. So Mike resolving it that way does give Matt at least an out to go to next round. I still don't think we're going to get there. So Luke lives by 1. He does have another death field activation. So these small increments could be, or pretty much all irrelevant. Matt has no hand, but just things like that, just missing lethal can be something that could bite you if there's a closer game. Yeah, bucket special, getting a resource, putting 1 on the merchant freighter. Mike forgot his death field. All right, so that's a tough round. Matt should be dead at this point, but it's looking pretty tough. And Matt draws into some removal. I saw it a pacify and a sail. Another eject. Man, having 2 dogs go crazy in the background and having to mute and unmute my mic is just an absolute blast. Let me tell you. Matt also has, I think that's Trench Run in your hand. And Trust Your Feelings in your hand. So Matt's got a pilot right away. And there's no benefit for Kaz to pilot the A-Wing. So I really think you got to pilot the merchant freighter, get the resource off of it. And a sail does have ambush, so he has good combos here to live. Don't know how great that's going to be, but he could assail, remove a die, ambush, eject, ambush, pacify. But really, that's just prolonging a game that I think is a little bit decided at this point. So he discards a card to do the A-Wing's ability. And Forsaken comes down. Yep. Oh, he DMs the R2. Man, Mike is ruthless. That's tough. So eject comes down, so he's going to lose a sail. Piloting will not be online. But he does get 2 health and 2 shields. Did the A-Wing go on top of the deck? I'm not sure. And there comes in 5, 6, 7 damage. Pacify comes in. Pacify's a great card here because it's almost like it's in a mill deck, right? When you're not dealing damage to the opponent, you're dealing it. Or mill decks, you're discarding cards. This one, you're dealing it to a plot. All right, Sheehan special and... or not Sheehan, sorry, Deathfield special, so that'll be 2 damage, and he still has a 2 range. I think I just take the 2 damage, roll it back in, and then start pitching a reroll for the game finale. I can't tell what that other card in... Oh, it's still Trench Run. So that's not playable. So whatever, if Mike gets lethal, that is game. And so he's at 1 health left. Deathfield come back in. It should seal the deal. Unless he forgets it again. Oh, Mike forgetting his Deathfield. Back-to-back rounds. Was that another Deathfield? Okay, there it is. Because again, he could have overwrote. I would have done that. I wouldn't have pitched Sith Armor there. But either way, Mike takes it. Well played to both gentlemen. And catch you guys next video. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Golden Dice Podcast. Thanks for watching the stream or listening to the podcast, whatever it might have been. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, on Spotify, pretty much wherever you listen to your podcast, we are on there. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Game Shop of Destiny. You can head to their website and use the promo code Golden Dice for 10% off your single orders. You can also head over to Parker Simpson Artwork and check out all of the promos that he's created for the game. If there's a character in the game, he has a promo for it, so you can head over there and order a few things from him. And lastly, if you haven't, head over to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or Twitch and subscribe to us on all of those things. Leave reviews. That would be a big help to us as well. And from there, you can check out articles, our podcast, and also live gameplay that we do. And we'll catch you guys next time.